Okay, so this is task two. We will do it in two parts. Let's do this, and I'll do this as a sort of teaching video as well. If you notice, I tend to draw these graphs to sort of analyze what's going on. So the first thing is that this is what we're really interested in, really the standard cost per unit. This is the budget, but I don't know what the next question is. Looks like I might need that, but as far as inputs are concerned, I don't need this. This is what I'm interested in, the cost of making a unit. Um, but what I'm interested in, of course, is that what's happening with 300 units. So I know I'm dealing and talking about 300 units, no problem. So let's begin. This the information I have from here tells me that listen, you need 3 kilograms to make a unit, and that's a total cost of 36. So really and truly, each kilogram is costing 36 over 3, which is £12, right? So that's £12. If you remember in my other videos when I teach this, I'll say, okay, that's £12 to make each kilogram. Now, in terms of usage, I expect you to use 3 kilograms to make each unit, and therefore for 300 units, I'm expecting to use 3 times 300, which is 900 kilograms. That's what I'm expecting to do at £12. That's the plan. Now, this first question is just asking for material usage. And so material usage simply requires me to come here and find out how many kilograms were actually used. So you actually used 960 kilograms, which is adverse. So you used 60 kilograms more than you should have. And we will cost this at, if you like, the standard cost, right? So that's your efficiency variance right there, right? So that's 60 kilograms at £12, and that's 12 times 6 is 72, isn't it? And that's 720 £720 adverse. So here you have 720 adverse. That's the way we do that first. Right, I'll just clean this and use the same graph and to discuss the others, discuss the other variances, discuss the other variances. Second, let's get rid of this, let's deal with all of this, give ourselves clean space. Right, so what do we have next? What do we have next? So we have, it says to us that we should talk about the labor rate variance. Okay, so what do I have here? I expect, well, it's about rates, but I'll just do it again as normal. You to use 1.5 hours to make each unit, and 1.5 hours cost £22.50. So really what I really want is what is the cost of 1 hour? So I'm really dividing £22.50 divided by 1.5, yes, because I want to know what the cost is of 1 hour. So £22.50 divided by 1.5 is 15. So really the charge per hour is £15, if you like, for every hour. So it really doesn't matter. All I'm really interested in is how many hours you used in truth to do this. So you used 420 hours. If I was looking at efficiency, I would ask you how many hours you should use. I mean, I could just for the fun of it. Why don't we do that? 1.5, you should have used 1.5 times 300 units. And this feels like 450, doesn't it? 15 times 3 is 450. So you should have used 450. There is a labor efficiency because you used 420. But the point is that in terms of costing, we know that each of your hours should cost 15 times 420. That's what it should cost. But they have cost 7140. It's given to us. They've cost 7140, haven't they? And so your hours should have cost 15 times 420. So 15 times 420 is 6,300. So they should have cost 6,300. They have cost 7140. This is what they've actually cost. And therefore, the variance 0 for 11 minus 3 is 8. Yes, 11 minus 3 is 8. So your variance is 840 adverse as well. Right? So and that's where we are. And that's where we are with that. Yes. And then let's do the last one. The truth is that the variable overhead does follow very much the labor. I mean, it is based on labor, isn't it, anyway? Um, so let's just tackle that as well. Just tackle that as well from scratch and not just piggyback on labor, right? Let's take it from the beginning. So what do we have? What do we have here? So we have it tells us here that yes, so the intention here is that in terms from this time we're looking at a well, it doesn't really matter. 1.5 hours per unit. That's really the plan. Costs for each unit, you need 1.5 hours, and that costs £10.50. What I really need is the cost of an hour. So 1 hour, if you like, is £10.50 divided by 1.5. You see, because that's the variable cost of an hour of a variable labor. So £10.50 divided by 1.5, £10.50 divided by 1.5 is equal to 7. So really, your cost per variable labor hour is £7. That's the main point. Now, the question here is, I expect you to use 1.5 hours to make each unit. So for 300 units, I'm expecting you to use 450 variable overhead hours, right? You did, of course, because it is, of course, all based on direct labor, you have done 420 hours. That's what you've done, 420 hours. So the efficiency, of course, is 30 hours favorable. You have done 30 hours less than you should have. And of course, that 30 hours less charged at £7, which is the standard, is 210. 7 times 3 is 21. So that's 210 £210 favorable. Right. So I think we'll just call this task 2 part 1. I think that's how I'll do this task 2 part A, and then I'll what's the word? Screenshot the next bit and then discuss that. Okay, great stuff.